what a game. Let's make a video. Wait a sec. New Jersey? They played Arizona, stupid. Hi! Leafs Nation, stand witness for Austin Lucas! Full biblical! Austin Matthews is a Leaf! Why do I watch hockey stressfully? Mostly. Leafs win 7-4 over the Arizona Coyotes. Oh, there they are. Check it out, Mrs. Dangle crushed it. Brand spanking, oh yeah. How are you? How was your Christmas? How was your holiday? Happy time between Christmas and New Year. I hope you're doing nothing and everything as well. I know I'm going to be a busy little bee because the Leafs play 3 games in 4 nights, scored 7 goals in Arizona, and with McElhinney out and Pickard apparently coming in, we got a lot to talk about. First, let's start with this game, the I am bad at defense bowl. About 9 minutes in, Arizona gives it away on the power play. Don't do that. Zach Hyman corralling the puck, looking down, looks up, snipes on Scott Wedgwood, his 7th of the season, 1-0 Leafs. 2 minutes later, William Nylander is allowed to just waltz in. Don't do that. Gives it to Austin Matthews. Don't let him do that. And he snipes for his first goal in Arizona, 2-0 Leafs. Remember when Matthews wasn't in the Leafs lineup? Not for me. No, didn't enjoy it. This is much better. Less than 30 seconds later, JVR, Bozak, Marner doing their thing. Marner is left alone. Don't do that. The Leafs' little human man-child blasts it in to make it 3-0 Leafs already. And I know North America's going through a cold snap right now, but all you got to do is warm up your hands next to Mitch Marner. You can roast marshmallows on those hot hands. Hyman, Matthews, Marner. Just 11.5 minutes in against the league's last place team. What could possibly go wrong? Well, you see, when the score is tied, the Leafs just play against the other team. When the Leafs are losing, they really play against the other team. When the Leafs are winning, they play against the other team and themselves. Josh Archibald scores his first of the season. Of course he does. It's okay. They still have a 2-goal lead. A little over a minute later, Brendan Perlini makes it a 1-goal lead. Come on! I know you're the Leafs. I know this kind of happens. I know you're always surrounded by voodoo wizardry and BS, but this is the last place team and you had a 3-goal lead. How are you letting Josh Archibald get banging goals? That guy's smaller than Mitch Marner. And when Toby Reeder set up Brendan Perlini for the goal, that was shocking. You already know my endless frustration with Jake, and I love to stick up for Carrick, but on this one, woo, that pairing's not working. That pairing is not working. What are our other options? Well, they play Polak with Gardner sometimes. Let's keep it. Look, in general, the Leafs forwards could be better defensively, but at the beginning of the season, I said I didn't think the Leafs defense was as bad as people were making it out to be, and now that we're nearing the halfway mark, I think I was wrong. Look, ultimately, they do their job for the most part. They get the puck up to one of the most potent offenses in the entire NHL. I see a lot of you yelling and screaming about maybe giving Jake Gardner a healthy scratch. Look around the league, man. Gardner has 18 points. That's as many as Jonathan Drouin and only 2 points back of Max Pacioretty. He would be the highest scoring defender on the Montreal Canadiens. Things could be worse. You know how many guys on the Senators have more points than Gardner? 4. The Sabres? 3. The guy puts up points. I don't think anyone's calling that the problem, but wow, in their own end, they're bad. And I don't know if the answer is in the room, in the minors, or somewhere else. But, I mean, you're playing Arizona, so just score your way out of the problem. Leafs are on the power play. Their only power play of the game. Mitch Marner passes it to Patrick Marleau. That's disgusting. Mitch, how dare you? Patrick Marleau with the proud dad celebration, and that's so gross. What's even more gross about that play is with Nazem Kadri hurt, and he did get hurt in this game, I'm pretty sure Patrick Marleau was filling in. Because we've seen that play before. Mitch Marner's got the puck, so teams are worried about him. JVR's in front, so teams are worried about him. And they sort of forget about the guy in the slot, who is usually Kadri. And now that Marner's not clinging to his stick like a vine at the edge of a cliff, he can pass it and the puck goes in with ease. You gotta remember how young Mitch Marner is, because he has struggled so mightily at times this season, but when he's on, he's borderline unstoppable. He had a pretty heroic back check in this game too. The kid can do it all. And he's only gonna get better and all. I get so excited. Okay, Coyotes got to return to full offense mode. Oliver Ekman-Larsson goes up the yoink, comes in on Scott Wedgwood. You know he's gonna snipe it. Nope, backhand, and he dekes him all the way back to the minors. It's 5-2, and I'm already getting messages from Coyotes fans about Scott Wedgwood. Look, we'll talk about him, but first, another goal. 10 seconds after the Nylander goal. Question of the game. Should the Leafs go to jail for this goal? It's so mean! Coyotes can't clear the zone because, frankly, they stink defensively. I'm sorry, we'll save that for the If I Were You segment, but wow! Komarov to Mitch Marner. Marner basically does what he did on the power play, gives it to Marleau, but he doesn't tip it. What he decides to do is gorilla glue it to his stick somehow, and poor Scott Wedgwood getting deked on the backhand by a right-hander. Guess what? Here's a lefty. All within 10 seconds. That is the 6th goal that Scott Wedgwood would allow, and before we're even done talking about the game, Arizona Coyotes fans, if I were you. I would go very easy on Scott Wedgwood, given his performance in this game. I remember seeing him a couple years ago in the Calder Cup playoffs. He almost stole a series from the Toronto Marlies. They were the third best regular season team in AHL history, and they're taking on Albany Devils in round 2. And it went all the way to Game 7. Rich Clune had to win it. So when I see guys like Hyman and Nylander sniping on him, there's still part of me that's like, yeah. Now, while Wedgwood didn't steal anything for the Coyotes, we talk about the, you know, it'd be nice to get a save every now and then. Wow! Were the Coyotes bad? What goals did the Leafs score where you can't thoroughly blame the Coyotes defense? Giveaway on the power play. I thought they were a little passive on the Nylander to Matthews goal, but okay, we'll let that one slide maybe. How do you leave Mitch Marner wide open? The first Marleau goal was pretty good. It was on the power play. Maybe you let that slide. The Nylander goal was a giveaway from Oliver Ekman-Larsson. And the second Marleau goal happened 10 seconds after the Nylander goal, which means the giveaway was less than 10 seconds after the Nylander goal. No Wedgwood was not great, but you can't get hung out to dry much worse than that. Freddie Anderson has been great, but when the Leafs hang him out to dry, it's impossible for him to stay that great all the time. Look at the season Carey Price is having. And the Coyotes, who are in last, are doing that to a guy playing his 20th NHL game and only played 10 games in the AHL last season. I think that was because of a big injury. If Wedgwood can get back to his previous potential before that injury, he'll be good. Have patience with him. What you should thoroughly not have patience with is your team's defense, which is incredible because heading into the season, it looked like their defense was going to steal them some games and potentially even a playoff spot. I know they've had injuries, but it's even OEL. Holy smokes. Also, before this game, I heard the Coyotes were humoring the idea of trading Anthony Duclair. And I was like, oh, the Coyotes don't like Anthony Duclair? And I watched this game, and I watched the chances he had, including his chance to tie the game, and Freddie just with the blocker. And I'm like, oh, the Coyotes don't dislike Anthony Duclair. The universe does. He's shown flashes. 7 goals, 6 assists, 13 points in 30 games so far. And he had 5 goals, 10 assists for 15 points in 58 games last season, which granted, sucks. But he's clearly going to blow that out of the water this season. Why are you giving up on him? Coyotes fans, if I were you, I'd enjoy the Austin Matthews show. I'd take solace in the fact that you got some wicked prospects and wicked young guys, Clayton Keller. If I were you, I would do what I'm programmed to do at this point, and that's get excited for the trade deadline. Because you gotta be selling, right? I mean, like, here, look, let's look at all their pending UFAs. Think of the haul you could get for, like, who's their top pending unrestricted free agent forward? Zach Ronaldo. Think it, oh. Okay, on defense. Think of the haul you could get for Luke Shen or Kevin Connaughton? I'm not gonna lie, there's times where I'd be like, yeah, I'll take Luke Shen again. Or you could even trade, Antti Ranta, who you just got. Look, you got some very young and exciting players on your team. And I think you can take pride in all the Leafs jerseys that you saw in the building last night. You want the Coyotes to spread. And right now, Austin Matthews is helping hockey spread. In Toronto, we've seen it in other sports. One superstar can change the entire sports landscape of a city. And Austin Matthews sure looks like that star. Anyway, back to the game. Before the end of the second period, Jordan Martinook comes in and Andreas Borgman adds him to Facebook or something. What was he doing? So we head to the third. Leafs have a 3-goal lead. Third period, the Leafs are on one of 6 penalty kills. Like, I'm stuck between being mad that they took 6 penalties to 1 and how did you win a game like that? But it's final 5 minutes of the third period. Can they hang on? Clayton Keller takes a shot. Freddie Anderson the save, but Christian Fischer is there to knock in the rebound. It's a 2-goal lead. Connor Brown would end up scoring an empty netter with about 2.5 minutes to go. And Paul Romanek's like, well, that will surely do it. Paul! Can you not? I know you're not new here. Watch it with that. Time winds down and the Leafs win. Okay, you're off the hook, Paul. So actual question of the game, how do you feel about a win like this? Because it's sloppy, it's stupid, and I don't think it's a very sustainable way of winning. But I also look at how trash the Leafs schedule is coming up and I'm like, I don't care. A win is a win is a win. 3 games in 4 nights coming up. Whoopee. And guys are getting hurt and we don't even know how. Speaking of which, Curtis McElhinney supposedly hurt and the Leafs have called up Calvin Pickard. Okay. So immediately, people are like, Pickard is getting to play against his former team. McElhinney, when did he even get hurt? You know, conspiracy theories. Kristen Shilton said this: don't think the Pickard recall is some kind of fake injury conspiracy. Saw McElhinney yesterday laden with ice packs. Leafs haven't recalled anyone to replace Kapanen, so they had extra roster spot available in case. Must have thought they'd need it. Well, they sent down Kapanen 3 days ago. The only thing I can think of is with the Christmas break and everything, maybe the Leafs are nickel and diming the cap because Pickard has a $1 million cap hit. And down in the minors, they're able to bury the entire thing. And Sparks has been battling injury, so maybe they wanted Pickard to get in more games. He played Boxing Day. Also worth noting from Chris Johnston. Of note, Pickard has a fresh waiver count, so he can spend up to 30 days on the NHL roster without having to clear again to go back to the AHL. Now, if you subscribe to the conspiracy theory that something's going on, well, it's a decent amount of time right before the trade deadline there. But honestly, I'm willing to bet that McElhinney is actually hurt. It's not really that serious, and they wanted Pickard to get the shot. And a little bit of cap nickel and diming, I think. Why are we talking about that? I'm just excited to watch the guy play in the NHL. How do you think he's going to do? So on that note, and with the fact that there's another game tonight, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. Didn't talk about Johnny Bower in this video. I already did a tribute. If you want to check that out, I'm going to put it in one of the little boxes over here.